Miriam Usman. This program is that program that is geared towards improving the study of science and technology, and also to tell you more about the advantages there is to science and technology to our everyday lives. My name is Miriam Usman. This program is brought to you by Engineer Yamise Shilon, FNSE. Here's the reason why you see Engineering NU every Friday by 5:30. Don't forget you can join in on the conversation by calling us on our phone lines and also reaching out to us via our social media handles. Of course, there are prizes to be won for lucky winners on the program who would, by of all means, answer our question on the program. Don't forget that if you are between the age of 15 and 22 with science and engineering invention, please contact MNSE on 08036401444 and OGTV on 07031614997. I take that again, 07031614997. This is an opportunity to exhibit your invention on the program. I will be introducing our guest as well as our topic of conversation after this break. But just before we go for the break, let's take the question of the day. Our question of the day is, why is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue? If you know the answer, do write to call us or send us messages via our social media handles. And rest assured, if you have the correct answer, you'll be our lucky winner on the program. Engineering and you will be back after this break. Please stay with us. All right, thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching Engineering and you're right here on OGTV. Today we're taking a close look at the basics of engineering. Now, engineering, just like every profession, requires some major foundational knowledge, and unless you are aware of this, you might not get engineering correctly. And that's why we have on the program today an expert to take us through the basics of engineering. His name is Engineer Solomon Abeokuta. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Yes, good to have you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're looking at the basics of engineering, and I know that your slides is ready, and you're going to take us through by creating the basic foundation of engineering, such that even those who never have heard or the basics will be able to understand what there is to engineering.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Okay. So, engineering, as we know, is a profession that is old as mankind. Engineering is actually a form of science. It belongs to the category of applied science. And you know, science, basically, from our secondary school knowledge, is an organized body of knowledge. Organized body of knowledge. And we are saying engineering is a form of applied science. That means engineering is the application of scientific knowledge and mathematics to solve the problem of mankind. Engineering is applying the basic knowledge of science to solve the problem of mankind. You make life convenient for man by applying the knowledge of science. You know, there's something, it is often said that wisdom is the application of knowledge.
Yes.
So you cannot just have knowledge for knowing sake.
Without applying it.
You have to apply. That is why engineering came into being. And, you know, engineering originated from the Latin word ingenitor, meaning the ingenious one. Somebody with ingenium. That means engineering means creativity. It means originality. So engineering means innovation. So as I said earlier, applying the basic knowledge of science and mathematics to produce things that makes life easier for man. And, you know, engineering starts with interest. Even young children, when we're younger, we do create things like kites, play cars, play buildings. That is the spirit of engineering. But when you pick a career, you start thinking of a career in engineering from the secondary school. And that is why I said science subjects generally include chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics, computer science, economics. Although economics is a social science, we have engineering like technical drawing, English, because everything is communicated in English. We have geography, then we have agri science. These are some pure science courses that you will take if you are thinking of taking up a career in engineering. So, once you take this course in the secondary school, they exposes you to science, to those basic knowledge that you can apply in engineering. Now, the first recognized engineer is known by name Imhotep. And he's the person that built the step pyramid in Egypt. You know, that is one of the wonders of the world.
Yeah.
And he's still there up to now. He's the first known persons. Not that there have not been engineers before him, but there have been people who have been applying knowledge of science before him. But he is the first person that has been recognized as creating something substantial in engineering. And also, the first way of engineer was applied to the military people. You know, the military, they create their arms. So they were the ones that were first called engineers. They create their arms by themselves, and basically they were mechanical engineers. And this will take me to the different branches of engineering. You know, mechanical engineering was what the militaries were doing. From there, we have civil engineering, because the military were doing their own. Then when some needs arise in the society, other civilians, that's why we have civil engineers, started applying those basic knowledge of science to solve problem of mankind. Then we have civil engineering. We have electrical engineering, we have agri engineering, that is basically mechanized farming. We have chemical engineering, we have petroleum engineering. Even recently, we have biomedical engineering. That is people that work on hospital equipment. We have aerospace engineering, we have marine engineering, we have automobile engineering. Those are the branches of engineering. So anybody that wants to take up a career in engineering can study any of those courses in the university in the bid to becoming an engineer. And we have this roadmap to becoming an engineer. You know, there's one funny thing in the society. People that repair generator, people that repair vehicles, they call themselves engineer. You'll be hearing, yes, engineer, engineer, engineer. But if you want to become an engineer, there are some basic roadmap you have to follow. You know, you have to undergo this primary school. From primary school, you get to secondary school where you study those basic science courses I mentioned earlier. From there, you sit for the JAMB. In sitting for JAMB, there's a joint admission matriculation board examination. You take subjects like mathematics, English, physics, chemistry, or geography or agri science as may be required. Then you have to have a score of 200 and above, depending on the universities. After then, you spend about 5 years in the university. Then if you have, if you went through the polytechnic, you have ND, you spend 4 years. Then if you have HND, you spend 3 years. And that will lead you to bagging a BSc or a BTech or a B engineering, Bachelor of Engineering in engineering. After then, you do your normal 1 year NYSC as we have it in this country. Then there is a period we call pupillage, because what you learn to university are just theory. When you get to the outside, you have to work under a registered and experienced engineer. We call that pupillage. So when you are done with that, you now apply to be registered. You become a corporate member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Then you now register with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. When you register, you'll be given your seal, your registration number, then you can be called an engineer. That is the end of the roadmap. Then experience continue. The basic function of engineering is problem solving. It's as simple as that. Engineers are meant to solve problems.
And if there's no problem, you create problems to solve.
You know, you don't create, there are always problems. You know, engineering is a significant part of any society. Because there are always problems. Either people are looking for water, transportation, better roads, so even the issue of light.
That's right.
So the basic thing in engineering is problem solving, and that is our main function. So we have some prominent engineers, because engineering, the training in engineering exposes you to many things. You can work with the government as an engineer, in either federal government, state government or local government, Department of Works, Water Corporation and so on. You can work in the military or paramilitary. You can work in consulting firms, construction companies. You can work in the oil and gas, refineries. You can also work in the research and development, just like the lecturers in the universities and people that work in research institutes. They are working in research and development. They try to prove how they have applied knowledge of science to solving problems on the micro level. Then they can now get it on a larger level. You can also go into farming, mechanized farming, just like Baba Basanjo, who specializes in engineering in the military, and Baba is doing mechanized farming. From engineering, you can even go to politics. The training you get in engineering enables you to go to any field. You know, recently we have the acting CBN governor, who had the B engine in engineering, then changed his career to finance. He was acting CBN governor. That is how the training in engineering can expose you to many things and many careers. So we have the deputy governor of this state is an engineer. Former governor, Senator Benga Daniel, is also an engineer. So we have a lot of things like that. Even the Oluwo of Owu, Oba Matemilola, professor. He's a professor of engineering. So, and he's doing well as a royal father. So all these things, engineering is good. It's as good as mankind. It can bring purpose into your life. So we have, you know, the topic I said, basis of engineering as a profession. You solve problem. Now, you can have your purpose from engineering. Personal engineering, you can bring meaning to your life. How? You know, when you love something and you are good at it, that means you have passion for it. Then when you love something and people need it, you have a sense of mission there. You are doing something that you can be paid for.
That's a vocation.
You have a vocation. And if you are paid for something and you are good at it, that is a profession. So at the middle of all these things, there's no how you cannot have a good life. You have meaning in your life. And that is what all of us, everybody is looking for meaning in life. So engineering can actually grant you meaning in life. So we encourage our young people to take up career in engineering. We encourage the parents to encourage their children to take up career in engineering. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I do believe that our viewers are really enjoying this session. Now, in 2018, I met this young man. By my estimation, that he should be not, say, within 18, 19 years old, somewhere in Kogi State. And he constructed an helicopter, and he constructed an ATM machine. I think he used some of these condemned or damaged iron materials, metal materials, and he made something really beautiful. I tried within my reach then to publicize his work. You know, I had to put the video on Facebook and Instagram to say, oh, we have someone like this that does something like that. But unfortunately, we couldn't fly with that because we didn't get the recognition that could have helped that boy, because he was really a talented person. But he has never gone to school to study engineering. He never had this basis of engineering, and that's why it's so good that you are breaking it down, that no matter how good your talent is, you still need to go through the process.
Yes.
Very, very brilliant.
Of course.
Let me also use this opportunity to remind our viewers that programs like this help you and put your ideas outside there, and this is particularly for students, and that's why we encourage that students under the age of 15 and 22 with science and engineering invention should contact us, contact OGTV or contact MNSE on 0803 6401 944 or 070-3161-1497. This is an opportunity for you to exhibit your invention to the program and thereby putting it to the world to see your wonderful invention. Don't forget, when it's engineering, when it's technology, it's definitely engineering and you on OGTV. Now we await your calls, we await your answers on the question of the day. We apologize that we had a display of the wrong question of the day, so we will take it again. The question of the day today is, why is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue? If you know the answer, please do well to call us or send us messages via our social media handles. And also don't forget that the question of the week is, which object is the smallest? Okay, that's the question of the day on the screen. Why is the sky blue? So if you know the answer, do well to reach us via our social media handles or call us to tell us the answer, and just maybe you might be our lucky winner on the program. So let's go back to the question I brought before all of that.
Okay.
The fact that he was able to make these things does not mean that he's a good engineer. What would be for the fate of people like that? I want to believe that he had no access to education as at then, but he was doing brilliantly well with his invention.
Yeah, what the young man created was just a prototype.
Yes.
And he had that prototype, applying the knowledge he had then. You know, I say engineering is the application of the knowledge of science and mathematics. He applied a little knowledge. Maybe, you know, when you subject that prototype to examination by qualified engineers, they will be able to tell us whether he met the requirement. You know, you saw it, and other people saw it as helicopter and ATM.
Yes.
But whether it will perform to standard, you don't know.
Yes.
So to be an engineer, you know, he has the interest, he has the passion, but you need to follow the processes. Yeah, so that you become certified and recognized as an engineer. Then, when you follow the processes, people can now certify that, okay, this your invention is up to standard. He had that then, but I didn't mean the prototype was subject to more scrutiny, would have been able to know whether it was up to standard or not. But he had the passion. So such a person can be educated more in engineering.
Interesting. I've also been opportune to meet young people who learned engineering by the virtue of having an engineer in their family, like the father. I've seen most families where the father is an engineer. Before you know, one of the child, majorly the son, is having this relationship with engineering, and the thing is growing like that. You know, for such kind of people now, they might want to brag that they are engineers. You know, they are engineers by relationship, or they are engineers by...
Yes, we have four categories in the family of engineering undercurrent. We have the artisans or craftsmen. These are people that learned trade. So people that just learned engineering, that is learning a trade.
So engineering can be learned as a trade.
That is the artisans or craftsmen.
Okay.
Those people, they might be calling themselves engineers, but they're actually artisans and craftsmen. We have the next class, technicians. These are people that have probably OND and have some advanced knowledge in engineering. They also operate at a higher level than these people that are artisans.
Okay.
So we have the other class, technologists. These are people with HND in engineering and probably have registered as technologists. Then we have people with degree and about 4 years of pupillage who are registered engineer. That is the four classes of in the engineering family. So those people, normally the artisans, craftsmen, they call themselves engineers. They are not actually engineers, but they are part of the engineering family. Yeah,
all right.
Yes.
One other question before we wrap up on the program today. There are also people that are fond of calling themselves engineers, and those are the undergraduates, you know, 200, 300, 400, even some of these engineering students graduates, and they call themselves engineers. So are they really engineer, or they have to take a particular professional course before they become an engineer?
Like people in the university calling themselves engineers, maybe they might want to make themselves happy. I know since they are in the course of becoming engineers, because that will be within them, they can't fly outside. Yeah, for you to be called an engineer, you must be a registered current engineer with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. Those are the only people that are licensed and are qualified to use the title engineer before their name. But other people studying in the school, maybe making themselves happy or to boost their morale, you know. So that is part of it.
All right, time is really not for our side. I know I mentioned the last question, but I have this one that I need you to address before we wrap up on the program. You mentioned 200 as the minimum cutoff mark for engineering, for JAM. But let's talk about WAEC and the necessary subjects that students need to combine. A lot of students have been victims of not getting the appropriate subject combination for this course in particular. But meanwhile, let me remind our viewers that that's the question of the week right there on the screen. So let's talk about the combination.
Okay, you know, yes. The cutoff is not clear because I'm not the register of JAM.
Okay, okay.
I'm just saying between 200 and above at least.
Okay.
That is that. Then for you to do engineering, basically you must have credit in mathematics and English, then physics, chemistry, and any other science subject.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
At least.
All right, thank you so much. This is how far we can go this week on Engineering and You. I trust that you have enjoyed every bit of the presentation today by Engineer OGBAJE, who took us through the basics of engineering and the importance of this profession to our everyday lives. Don't forget, this program is brought to you by Engineer Yemi on MNSE, and it comes your way every Friday by 5:30 p.m. Now, the question of the day: why is the sky blue? Unfortunately, we couldn't get more calls, but I'm just going to tell you the answer. Well, the answer is solar radiation sunlight is scattered across the atmosphere by a process called diffusion, by a process called by a process called diffuse sky radiation. It's called diffuse sky radiation. The sky is blue because much more shortwave radiation, which is the blue light, is scattered across the sky than long wave radiation of red light. Now we have the question of the week: which object is the smallest? Galaxy, B, planet, C, star, and D, universe. If you know the answer to that question, please do well to send us a message to our social media handles. Engineering and You will be back next week, where we'll bring you another guest and we explore another branch of Engineering and You. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being so resourceful.
Thank you.
That we've drawn the curtain on the program today. I'll see you next week, God's willing. Bye for now.